Anyway, before we get started with this video, I just like to say I got hit with COVID like 2 weeks ago. That's why I haven't been uploading, and I was planning on releasing this video like 2 weeks ago, but then that happened. So yeah. Anyways, in this video, I thought I'll talk about anime texturing, also more commonly referred to as cel shading. So it's not actually called anime textures. In simpler terms, it's just called cel shading. That's what pretty much every professional industry refers to it as. So shell shading is pretty much, defined by a predetermined light source, and what you basically do is paint light where it shines naturally opposed from the light source, and shadows, and so on and so forth. I'll put a example on the screen right now of what I mean. So in this video, image, sorry, it's clearly seen that the light source is pointed at a slight angle from the right to the right from the front. Color shading is pretty much defined by three colors primarily. You're going to want to have your base color, your light color, and your shadow color. Your light color wants to be somewhere between 1 to 20% lighter than your base color, and vice versa for your shadow. So for your shadow, it's going to be 1 to 20% darker than your base color. I'll put a article in the video description where it goes more in depth and talks about this more in depth and more in detail on how to actually set it up and everything like that. However, I'll now replay a clip of a model I made and also painted, where I'll break down my step-by-step process on how I made this model. Please leave a like if you do like this kind of content, as it really does help me out and motivate me to make more content like this, because I really do enjoy making these kinds of videos, and it's very nice to see the positive feedback I receive. Anyways, without much more talking, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something new. Let's just start off with making the torso, I feel like, because that's the easiest. So I hope you have your reference ready with you, because it will be kind of hard to do this without a reference. So I'll recommend just getting a reference of the model that you're trying to make. Hold on, let me just load up mine up here. And this shirt is black, but you don't want to make it too black, and I'll explain why. So you kind of want to make it like somewhere around this part, because the thing is, with anime style textures, you have three main components in your texture maps, or whenever you make a texture. You're gonna want a base color, you're gonna want a hard crease color, and you're gonna want a highlight and a shadow color. So this is gonna be my base color. So I'm just gonna name this base color. And then I'm gonna make a new one. I'm gonna name this hard crease. I'll add a black mask with that. I'm not gonna change that color yet, because this is not gonna have any hard creases on it, because it's black and it's kind of hard to put a pretty hard crease to it. But what you can do now is you can add another fill layer. You can make this, and you can just, all you're gonna want to do is just copy the base color, and you're gonna want to make it as about 20% darker. In this case, I won't be able to go 20% darker, but something like that. And you're gonna want to call this shadow, and you're gonna do the same thing for the highlights. You're gonna add a color, add a black mask, go down here, copy this one, and you're gonna want to make it about somewhere in the 20% range. So about right here, it's like the 20% range. So somewhere within, so imagine two lines here, from here to down here. Somewhere in this range, you want your highlight color to be. So I'm gonna put mine about in the middle, somewhere around the 10% mark, right here, and that's gonna be your highlight color. Highlight. So the thing is, with anime, right, since they don't have any sort of lights, well, I guess you could say natural light coming in, you need to kind of emulate your light source. So what you want to do first is you want to kind of define and think, okay, where do I want my lights to be coming from? So in this instance, I'm gonna be thinking about my light, because I just find this easier. But I'm gonna just think that my light is coming from straight down, so at a 90-degree angle. Let me just isolate this, and I'm gonna start to paint around that area or whatever. From imagine the light coming down from a 90-degree viewpoint. So yeah, let me just turn on this real quick, and you want to make sure you do this in basic color mode. So just go up here in basic color, and then all you're gonna want to do is, just to begin with, you're gonna want to take your shadow color or your hard crease. It doesn't matter in this instance, because it's a black color, and you're just gonna want to start going around the edges of everything, and just keep on doing that until the whole edge of everything is marked out. So it's very obvious to see like where the edges go and stuff. I'm just gonna continue to do this for a little while, like this, all the way down here. I don't know why that happened here, but just delete that. Yeah, I might just. And then after you're done with this, turn off wireframe mode. Just kind of pan around and check everything looks good. Uh, yeah, it looks all right. So and then just make sure to remove any spots that you accidentally pin over, pin it over. So there's not much else you can do to this kind of part right here. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So we're gonna go on to the belt and make sure to do this in folders because it's just easier to separate. But yeah, we're just gonna do it in folders. So now we're gonna make a new one. We're gonna add a, oh, sorry, new folder. And this is where the fun part begins. So right now I'm gonna select everything within this area right here. So like that, like this, like that, and that, and that. Let me just check. Yep, everything's like that. Okay. So this is where the fun part begins. So for this belt, we're just gonna do a very simple brown color. It's called. So I'm just gonna pull up reference again, and we're gonna do brown color. Actually, there is one thing we can do up top here, and we can make some light streaks. So if you kind of analyze where the light is coming from, it's coming from straight down. So obviously your clothes are gonna have some wrinkles. So you kind of want to like think about where would wrinkles go. And this is where it's really good to look at like Pinterest photos or references, for example, on how clothes work, and especially on how they work in anime. I'll put up some examples on the screen right now, so you can kind of get a general idea of how they work. But it's not set in stone, obviously, but just kind of an idea of how they work. Anyway, so what you want to do now is you kind of want to just. So for me, it's gonna work like this, right? So it's just gonna have like a bit light streak here or something. Actually, no, that's too thick. We're gonna make it a bit smaller, like that. And we're gonna make it. Also another thing, you want to make your points like very edgy, very pointy. I mean, in anime style textures. Every single point should be like very pointed like that. And this is still a bit too light. I mean, so we're gonna go a little bit darker like that, and maybe a bit too thick as well. So maybe just trim it down a little bit like that. Yeah, it's still too dark. I feel like so maybe turn down the opacity a little bit. Yeah, something like that works. And then I just kind of want to make like some light streaks like that, just a little bit all over my model. Maybe like here, something like that. Yep, and maybe one more like right here. And that just adds a little bit of a character to this whole thingy right here. So we can close that out now, and we're just gonna select a kind of dark-ish orange, like here. Actually, let's go a little bit more to the left, so we get a more brown color, like that. Add a black mask, of course, and we're just gonna select these two parts. Now what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna add a black mask. We're gonna do a full black color again, and we're gonna call this hard crease. Then again, we're gonna do this. We're gonna select the previous color, the base color. Oops, I should name this base color. Base color. And we're gonna make this about 20% darker. So somewhere around here. and we're gonna call this shadow. And it's not set in stone. You look like every single time you're gonna model or paint something new, you're gonna play around with the colors a little bit. So don't take anything that's like set in stone. And again, you're gonna want to take this brown color, make it a bit lighter, somewhere around there. Black mask. Call this like I don't know, what's it called? Light. So for now, you're always gonna start with the hard crease. The hard crease is the most important because it defines your edges. So what you're gonna do now is you kind of want to just I'm gonna enable mirroring for this, and I'm just gonna begin painting out the edges of the model. So we're just gonna go around here and paint all the edges. Even on this, just go down here, paint this edge. Okay, I don't know why that is so large, but we can just go up here then. And it's gonna kind of want to define like these edges around. We're gonna fix all this later. All these issues I'm having. I don't know why I'm having those, but it is what it is. It happens sometimes. It happens sometimes. So don't worry about it. But yeah, you're gonna just wanna go around here. Make sure you get all the edges. Paint, delete all these, like that, and then of course at the bottom too. So, whoops! I cannot paint. Oh, why am I not painting? There we go. And yep, and again, same thing here. And you can just remove the black colors from missing from that part. Yeah, there we go. And that just makes a whole lot of difference because now you can see like these front colors too. All right, well this edge here. So the hard crease makes a ton of difference because just look at this, right? Just blank, and then it just makes a lot of difference. And you're gonna want to make sure that you kind of incorporate that. Let me just do that. Yep, there we go. So hard edges or hard creases is very, 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 very important. So make sure you add those to your model. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm actually gonna make another one, and I'm gonna call this. Oh, this is gonna be for these parts right here. So we're just gonna make a little bit of metallic color here. So something like that, and just make it a bit more dark like that. And we're just gonna want to remove it from this part, so some paint over. There we go. And now for the shallow colors. So of course, like you're gonna go back and you're gonna want to look at this. So if the light view comes from top down, right? So it's obvious that this part is gonna be more blurred out because it's gonna this cape or whatever is gonna block out the lights coming down here. So from my view, at least, it's gonna be like this. That's how the shadow's gonna go. Okay, I don't know why this is happening. Hold on, let me just fix that. One moment. Anyways, on that is fixed. So again, as I was saying, you kind of want to define your light source. So for me, I always do top down, but you can always do like from the side, like 45 degrees as well. But it's just like preferment at the end of the day. It's just personal preference. But as I was saying, so the light will come down here and it will go like this, and it will block here. So this part will be blocked off, right? So for me, what I'm gonna oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm having extreme bad hiccups. Anyways, what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna paint like a diagonal right line here. Oopsie, that's not the right one. There we go, like this. And I'm just gonna continue that all the way around. So I'm just gonna continue because all of this will be blocked by the light. So we're just gonna continue around like this until we get to about. I'm just gonna go all the way around because we don't want to do it on this side though, because as you can see, the light doesn't reflect over here. So we're just, block. So we're just gonna do like this. we're just gonna do a little bit of here, and this is still too dark. So I'm gonna actually bump this up a little bit in terms of the shadow color, something like that. A bit darker. Yeah, something like that. And we're just gonna remove this, so it's interfere. There you go. Let me just go. Kind of, but whatever. So that's the kind of general idea here that we're gonna have, and then of course we have the light color. So as you can see, the light comes down here. So here we're gonna actually do some dust. I mean, some specks of light. So we can go along here, this side here. We could just put some across here, like this, and we don't want to make it like too square, if you get what I mean. So the way lightning works in anime is that most of it is just triangles. So what we can do here is just we can do this and just make a little triangle, and it will mimic the illusion of light reflection pretty well. And of course, trying to make it as point as possible, because you always want points. And then just kind of spread it around a little bit. We're gonna do it up here, actually, just a little bit of light up here. You want to kind of make some irregularities in the actual light source, like that. So that's already looking pretty okay. We're actually gonna make a tiny bit of speck of light right here. We're gonna make it in a triangle, of course. So like that, and bam, bam. Gonna make this covered. We can extend it down here too, because why not? Just make it pointy like that, and there we go. Now we have something that breaks up the shadow a little bit more. So now that we have that done, we can move over to the arm. Oh my god, what is my cursor? Here it is. Because I've already done the legs, so there's no point in going over the legs, in my opinion. But yeah. So it's kind of the same principle here. You want to make a base layer color, because this is arm is just one color basically. It's just like gray, so you don't really need a lot of details on this. But again, you kind of just want to make a something like gray color for this one, like a metalish color. That's too bright. We want to make it like a bit more too blue. I mean, something like that. I think looks pretty okay for this. Yeah, it looks pretty metally. Maybe a bit lighter actually. Yeah, something like that, like gray. And of course, you want to have your hard crease color, which is gonna be just black like that. Add a black mask, and then you want to turn this off. I mean on, sorry. And I want to add a mirror modifier because I want to make this easier for me. That is not the right axis. Turn this on. Just drag it over. Just make sure it lines up with metal. Doesn't need to be picture perfect, but just around. And then again, just make your brush the smallest possible size, and you just want to go around the edges again, and just highlight everything. Highlight every single part here. Even in like these like little cut off areas you want to highlight, just because it gives more depth to the actual model. And again, over here. Like that. And then of course over here. Okay, why can't I paint on this? That's weird. Okay. Okay, I don't know why I cannot paint on this, but hello? Okay, that is weird. Hold on. Okay. I'll come back to it in a moment. Okay, that is extremely weird, but now that is fixed, again, you just wanna go around the whole model here. Just make your brush as small as possible, and then just continue around here, around every single edge. I'll actually speed this up a little bit. And the story. Dun, 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 dun. All right, now that is done. You're gonna have well, for me, it's gonna look like this because every single edge is highlighted now. But now, what I'm gonna do is again do this, select this color, and just go tab it lighter, like, and just see what I think here. Yeah, I think that's a good color. And then again, gonna name this shadow, and over that, do this, and just make this a bit lighter, like here, and name this what's it called? Light or highlights, I guess. But yeah. And now again, with your um light angle predetermined. So for me, it's gonna be straight down like this. We're just gonna want to begin painting in the different uh, shadows. So obviously, it's gonna be here because this part is gonna cover this metal plate here. It's gonna cover this part, but you don't want to make it the whole part covered in shadows. You only want to make like the edges under it covered. That makes sense, because otherwise your primary color will not be seen, which is something you don't want. You want kind of a color contrast. So just want to make this a bit darker like that, and just make sure like all your edges are like really sharp in their areas. Actually, what we can do is just cover this whole thing, and then we can just kind of carve out the actual path here. So when I want to make something like this, and just go like that, this and that, and then just carve everything else away. So we want a little bit more shadow. We're gonna want to go like this. Also, like half your model is good for shadow color. Or yeah, you get what I mean. Then just go around like this, and delete this corner here, and then just repeat the process really. So I'm gonna want to select the whole model here, and I kind of want this, but in this instance here, I kind of want to like actually, yeah, we're just gonna do this and just delete everything again. And it's not like much else that you can do here. Yeah, can actually fix up this corner because I don't know why it turned like that, but yeah, there we go. It's still too square here. I don't know why it happened, but it's whatever. But that's fixed now. So it's we're already adding some detail over here, which is good. And then obviously again here. So this whole part here is gonna cover this whole thingy here. So we're just gonna oopsie, my bad. I'm just gonna wanna kind of mark out here where it covers. It doesn't really matter. Actually, we could do this. Yeah. Then we're just gonna wanna carve out kind of how we want the shape to be. So in my case, I think this is gonna be like something like this is gonna be good. And obviously this part here is just gonna cover a little bit of light. If you check this here, it's like a little edge here, so we're just gonna want like a little bit of shadow here. So that's just gonna go around here. There we go. And we're just gonna want to delete the rest. So we're just gonna erase the rest. And you always want to start out with the shadows first. It just makes things a lot simpler, in my opinion. That's all I was about to do. I just start out with the shadows, something like that. Yeah, that's already looking pretty good so far, in my opinion. And then, of course, down here, there's like a little edge. We'll just cover the whole hand. So we're gonna mark the whole hand, or the whole bottom of the hand, I should say, as a shadow color. Then I'll mark this. And yeah, that's looking pretty alright so far. So what else? Oh yeah, under here we have some shadow. So again, might want to mark this whole. Actually, no. What we can do is just mark two of these. This. Oh, that. Three actually. And then just begin to carve around it. And I forgot to add the highlights here, but I'll do that now, or in a minute. I kind of want to. Oh, actually, no. There's a bit of shadow here, so we're gonna just want, a little bit of shadow, just a teeny tiny bit, not a lot, like that. And then, of course, all the way around. And flip this around. Yes, sir. There we go. And there we go. And hard crease, of course. And just go around. There we go. And we're gonna do it up here too. The crease. Apparently, I forgot that too. It happens. It happens. Don't worry about it. Everyone forgets sometimes. Yep, something like that. And now we can turn off this and see how it looks. That is looking pretty okay so far, in my opinion. I am not sure why I'm getting this weird effect on it. Did I hit something on accident? Yeah, I must have hit something on accident. There we go. Yes, that's just looking pretty okay so far. Oh, saving. Okay. Yeah. So it's looking pretty okay so far, but we're missing a few details still. So we're gonna want to turn this back on, and then again, I have this like little screw thing here. So I'm just gonna fill that in with the color here, and then of course the hard crease, and just work around the edges. You want to make sure that you're kind of, like really only hitting the edges here, because it's gonna, otherwise it's gonna look pretty bad. But yeah, and of course I want to work around the whole ball, so it actually like sticks out as an object instead of just nothing, just blends in. And that is gonna make a huge difference now that we can actually see it. So there we go. And of course you kind of wanna pick some parts of it, but you'll get used to it pretty quick. Want to define the edges here. And then up here, of course, we're also gonna fill in these little holes here. One color, with shadow. Like that. And now I think the whole shading process is pretty much done. We kind of want to move over to the whole ideal light strips here. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to define, okay, light source is coming from above. Okay, perfect. So then we could go around and kind of work around these edges here. Just a little bit of light here. We don't want to be too excessive with the light because it will look a little bad if it's just a lot of light colors. I mean, bright everywhere. You get what I mean? So we're gonna want to be a little bit subtle, but it's still kind of obvious that light is coming from above. So if this corner gets highlighted, the opposite corner also has to get highlighted. So we're gonna do a little highlight down here too. See down here. There we go. And again over here, we're just gonna repeat the process. So we're gonna highlight these corners here, and of course, if these corners highlighted, you're gonna want to highlight these corners too. I don't know why that is happening, but it's whatever. There we go. And then again, it's gonna define. Okay, light source coming from above. Okay, so then maybe you'll have like a little light speck here at the corners here. Not a lot, but like something like that. It's gonna be like quite a massive one still, but it's gonna like really stretch like this. And then of course in the corners here, we're also gonna want one. So I like to invert these. So I don't like doing this. I like to like that. I don't know, just like better according to me, but it's our personal preference anyways. And of course these ones I'm not gonna have any because they're blocked. Like you can yeah. But this one is gonna have a straight line going down here, and then across. So, because it's a metal edge, you have to remember this is metal. It's because it's like a sword, so you're gonna wanna go a little bit excessive and a bit thick down here. So I'm gonna actually make this a bit thicker. I'm actually gonna make it like something like that. Kind of show that it's a big reflection here. Because it's gonna be like a big sword or whatever. So kind of want to make like a bit of a big deal out of it. Something like that, and maybe like a little bit of highlight somewhere around here. Just a tiny little bit in the corners here. And of course, we have like here, it's gonna kind of like a bit of highlight like this. Maybe like a little bit down here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And now we turn this off. Oops, wrong one. And it's looking pretty good so far, but it's missing some highlight corners here. So we can maybe do like here. And obviously make it sharp here. Still missing a little bit here, so we're gonna make it a little bit longer, a little bit thicker here. Yeah, more like something like that looks pretty good to me. And then at the front here, I'm gonna want to add a little light speck on the screw thingy, so like that. Actually, and a little bit of light head down here. Again, at the end of the day, it's Roblox, and you have to like kind of make up your own rules sometimes when it comes to changing like this, because this is not obviously like 100% accurate because the game lighting always changes, but you kind of want to give it like a what do I call it? It's like a realistic look, if you get what I mean. Like it's gotta be believable. Like you can't just like, oh well, okay, so here's light and then here's light because that doesn't look good. And you have to like kind of make it believable, if you get what I mean. And you have to like kind of add colors in spaces where color doesn't really exist. So like for example, right here, it could be a really good light spot actually because we can just make a like teeny tiny bit and like that, so very tiny bit of light, and it will just break up this color so much, and it will just add like a little bit of tiny detail. And same thing down here, just a little bit of like just something like this, then it will break up the colors massively and just give it a bit more detail. Obviously you can't have it here because this big thingy here just blocks this entire thing, which I actually forgot about. So we're actually gonna make shadows here. We can actually just extend this downwards and just gonna make it paint all the way around, something like that. And we're gonna make it hit here. Just gonna want to remove it from this. Thank you. And yeah, and obviously fix like these things, these small marginal errors that, but they couldn't mess up your model a lot. So yeah, then we have the arm. I think that looks pretty okay. Actually, we're gonna fix up this thingy right here. And what else is missing? I feel like something is missing from this arm, but I can't really put my finger on it. Whatever. I'll just come back to it. But there we go. Like we have now begun almost. We've got a pretty long way this now by now. So yeah,